live. I'm Dr. Flo, not telling you what I heard, but what I know. What I know is that you're loved and lovable. You've always been loved and lovable, and you're always going to be loved and lovable for the rest of your life, no matter what, no matter who, no matter when, what, where. You're just sitting very. I wonder where the planets are in the sky
I feel like I
and
saw
how
something
that's
with the full moon.
affecting. It was a full moon week. That explains everything.
When we get off of here, I have to ask you a question. That is, yeah, I'm not going to ask you on live. I'll ask you later. Anyway, shall we do the next thing?
Ask me in the private chat. No, I must no. Ask me in the private chat. All right, and I'm going to start here, y'all, with the card of expressing love. Today, I noticed the things I appreciate about the people in my life. I take a moment to send them love and to wish them well. My love is infinite, and it feels great to express it. And the question is if I brushed my teeth today or not. Ooh, I don't even know what that is. Do you? Today, I noticed the things I appreciate about the people in my life. I take a moment to send them love and to wish them well. My love is infinite, and it feels great to express it. Ah! 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 Woo! Releasing anger. I laugh a lot. We laugh a lot here because laughing is lighter. In fact, they say that if you sing your problems like, I ain't got no money, where are the people? If you sing your problems, some of the Buddhist philosophers says that it gets easier. And anger is a natural emotion, but I recognize that holding on to it can be toxic for me. I look at the person who has caused me pain and see them as the human being they are. I release the anger I feel and free myself and expanding to love. Anger is a natural emotion, and as you feel your emotions and learn to heal them and or settle into them, that's going to leave you with opportunities for your growth. Everything is happening for me in my evolution. I'm not a victim of the things that happen. I take ownership of my life and make the best of the challenges along my journey. I see how difficult moments help me to become my best version, and I am thankful for them. The last 3 years have been an incredible practicum on what it means to have your dreams, to see them kind of begin to kind of do the Jenga thing, and then completely fall over. That's my story. Like where I was pulling brick by brick out of the Jenga of life, and I watched it do one of these. And there were a couple times, as Tara witnessed, and even before Tara came into my loved and lovable journey, where it would wobble, and then I'd go, and then it stabilized, and I'd go, oh. But then, of course, as true with life and entrepreneurship and any kind of freedom human expression, if you pull another Jenga block, it's going to wobble. And then it just falls over. And I watched that happen to my life. But what I learned by playing the game of Jenga in my life is that those difficult moments of disintegration and me having to pick back up the blocks and restack and get the little cardboard piece to make sure it's all level and good, that all was a learning experience for me. And I needed to encounter these specific kinds of people. They have names. The people that have discouraged me the most over the last 2 weeks to 2 years, I needed to meet these specific kinds of people for my soul evolution because I had never met motherfuckers like these a day in my life. And so I'd rather be learning the lesson now than encounter it further down the path when it could have been more catastrophic. And catastrophic is very hyperbolic language for me, folks. I mean, there were some days where I ate food that wasn't my preference, but I not once didn't eat. That makes my clarion call for people who have less than I do even stronger because I know what it's like to feel the rocks on your pinky toes.
I don't know what it's like not to know who you are. To have lived in the shadows and traveled this far. We're gonna get kicked off of YT. Okay, that's from Anastasia. I do not own the rights to that music. You're welcome.
You all are invited into our Telegram channel and Discord server, where we can be as free as we want to be without the man breathing over our shoulders.
Hallelujah. Amen. Okay, I've got some inspo for y'all. That's actually, I think it's from Mayhaps Friday. It is Adore Me and We the Urban. And Adore Me, for those of you that don't know, is the underwear brand. Okay, they make really pretty bras. I do have to say, they make really pretty bras. I don't know. Can we see that? Can we all see that?
Can you get wait, is double A smaller than an A cup?
Yes.
Could you get me a triple A cup of that particular bra?
Mayhaps. Mayhaps. We'll have to see. We have to measure your band so that it fits around. Yeah.
Oh.
There's a whole process.
Clearly, I've never been fitted for a bra. You have to measure my what?
Never bought a bra before. We have to measure underneath the bust to see if the number, so that the letter is the cup size, right? And then the number is around. So there's like 32, 34, 36, 38, 40.
I never knew that part.
Yes.
I've never been measured for a bra.
Well, there you go. Now you know. The more you know, y'all. The things you come to Daily Boost for, right?
The star in the sky. The more you know.
All right. So the people I love, and we love a lot of people here in the network. You're the family I got to choose, and I chose well. Thank you for always keeping it real, for being a mirror when I need to see myself clearly, and a cushion when I need softness. I aspire to be the same for you. Thank you for celebrating my victories as if they were your own, and for lifting me up during my losses. You have come so far since we first met, and I am so incredibly proud of you. Thank you for the belly laughs. We do that a lot in this network. Thank you for the belly laughs that make life lighter. How lucky I am to be in community with someone who gets my unique brand of weirdness. I appreciate the wisdom you share, even when I'm too stubborn to admit I need it. Read that one at least 3 times for Dr. Flo and I. Know that you've got a friend in me, one who sees your light and your shadow and loves you for both. You've enriched my life in so many ways, and I strive to do the same for you. I'm so proud of who you are and who you've helped me become. Thank you for existing. Isn't this the same one as the first one? You're the family I got to choose, and I chose well. Is that not the same as the first slide? Ciao. Yeah, it is. That's a boo-boo. That's what I get.
You are a quality assurance agent. You want that kind of editor on your team, folks.
It's really bad. I notice all their typos and like their mistakes. It's really bad. It's quite bad. Anyway,
done is better than perfect.
Do you have your national days pulled up? You want me to do national days?
Oh my goodness. I do not have them pulled up. Do you have them pulled up?
I do.
Go for it. Knock it out.
Okay, it is National Almond Day, y'all. I love almonds. I love almonds. It's also Bird Health Awareness Week. We were looking at a bird this morning trying to figure out what kind of bird it was. We think it was a woodpecker, but it didn't have a long beak, so we don't really know what it was. It's also Brotherhood/Sisterhood Week. I'm not sure why we can't just say siblinghood to be inclusive, but like, I don't know. Build a Better Trade Show Image Week. What a week. It is National Engineers Week, National Justice for Animals Week. The white people will be happy. What is this? It says through. Oh, I see. Through with the chew. Get off chewing tobacco. It's Day of Restoration of the State of Lithuania. Do a Grouch a Favor Day. Elizabeth Petrovich Day. It's Innovation Day. That's fun. That's a fun day. It's I already said National Almond Day. Oh, this is the one that I wanted to get to. It is World Whale Day. You all have to join us this afternoon, a little bit later, because we're going to talk about the whales. We're going to talk about at least 2 whales, and then I have a post also to bring that's about because I guess it's a really important day to some indigenous groups, some indigenous tribes. Like they really learn a lot from whales. I saw a post on it this morning. I was like, oh my god. Anyway, it's Whale Day. It's World
The
Whale
whale thing makes me think of the guy who nearly got swallowed.
It makes me think of this AI account that I saw where they take the barnacles off the whales and then the whales smile. As all this the whole account on TikTok. It's like an AI taking barnacles.
What?
Don't ask me how I get into the algorithm this way, okay?
They do what?
They take the barnacles off the whales.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
It's a nice thing to do. It's AI.
What do you mean? It's the AI part that threw me. The barnacle. I was like, why am I so confused about what?
Because the whole thing is AI. Like they created the whole movie via AI.
Is this an account that repetitively shares that video?
Different whales that they've made through AI. It's fascinating.
Wow, I thought you were talking about something for real, and then you led with it not being, and so then I was just
barnacles.
Whales actually do get barnacles in the wild
because there's also an account that takes barnacles off of lobsters and crabs. But that one's a real account. Like, they're not AI. That's a real fisher person.
The guy I'm obsessed with is this little young Puerto Rican guy with a pretty nice ass who makes bagels every morning.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just him putting the bagel. Did you know that bagels are boiled in water?
I learned this from this really annoying lady who all of her videos have like Beyonce music behind them. And she's a whole white person. But she makes croissants and bread and bagels and donuts and ice cream cakes all from sourdough. This is why I want to do a sourdough starter this year, because I've been watching this lady, and yes, she boils the bagels. She puts them in the thing, and then she puts them in the oven, and then she pulls them out, and she makes her own cream cheese. Wild.
You don't like cream cheese, though.
I don't like cream cheese. I wouldn't do that part.
Wait, so when you go to Panera, what do you put on your bagels?
Well, I get the cinnamon crunch bagel, which needs no help.
It needs no help. Although a little bit of butter never took her in a wrong direction.
I mean, I would do butter, or sometimes I do like Panera's, like the honey walnut. I do like that one, but just a little thin layer.
Light schmear, as we call it.
Yeah, thin layer. Wow. Nothing crazy. Okay.
Speaking of Panera, this week in our network, it's all about acts of service. And so shout out to our service people at our local Panera. Although I haven't had Panera in many, many years. This month in Love and Action Network is Love in Community Month. And of course, as I just said, we're going to be talking about acts of service this week. Every week in Love and Action Network, we start on the root chakra, and then we end up intentionally in our crown chakra at the end of the week. The root chakra is all about security, stability, and your basic needs. And today we're going to be talking a bit in community about providing stability through service in your life. Acts of service in the world can provide a strong foundation for those in needs. And we're going to explore how today. Tara, what are your favorite acts of service to actually do and to give in the world?
Well, what I was actually going to say was one of the things that I think about a lot when we think about acts of service. And I think sometimes this notion can go too far. So before I say it, just keep that in mind. But I think being just a listening ear is such an act of service, or allowing someone the space to process. Like I know that there was a time prior to the elephant graveyard that it used to really annoy and Dr. Flo that I would sometimes just back off. And that wasn't because I didn't love him any, like I didn't love him any less. It was simply because I knew he was processing, and it was not helpful for me to be in the earball at that time, right? It was for me to sit by and say, oh, that's really nice reel. Hi, this is great. But it's the pullback. And that is often what I do for people, right? And Dr. Flo talks about this when he goes to the grocery store. Like sometimes people just walk up to you and they just like vomit. My students come in the door and they tell me stuff. So I think a major act of service that I enjoy giving that doesn't take a lot of my energy is just listening, right? Now my entire career is an act of service, okay? Voice lessons, music, singing, activism, act of service, advocacy, act of service. Get it through your heads, y'all. Get it through your heads. We're not being combative. We're just trying to
giving the services. In the words of RuPaul, I am in business, so let's give them just what they want. They want to see you work. It's acts of service. And these acts of service, whether paid services or free services, they are providing a strong foundation for people in the community who want to lift up. And acts of service is actually one of the love languages for those of you who frequent that work. It's not one that I would say is high for me. Physical touch and words of affirmation, it's up there. But when I am collaborating with people like Tara, collaboration as an act of service feels really, really good. And you want to trust in your life that the people who you're rolling your energetic ball to want to roll it back. And Tara and I have been in community and in collaboration for well over 3 years now. We've never met in real life, over 900 miles apart. But our continuation of wanting to serve the project of Love and Action Network, that's what actually strengthens it. Tara and I are more committed to love and community than we are to our own bullshit.
Most days.
Most days, most days, our bullshit succumbs to wanting to be in community and wanting to belong to something of a higher vibration.
Agreed.
It's important, especially in your life. And we should talk about this before we move into the mindfulness practice, which I'll let you do if you'd like. You want to attune your spirit to being a thermostat instead of a thermometer. Especially for the next 4 years, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in our scrolly feeds that's going to be trying to program us in certain ways. I'm not sure if you all walk mindfully through your phones, but I'm always asking myself, like, how does this post want me to feel?
Right.
How does this person who's posting want me to feel?
And then my other question that I've been going through lately, and I think you saw the thread that I did about it, is like, how am I complicit? Like, if it's a take that I can like actually engage in good faith in, like, because some people are posting things like the lady on TikTok that, and we'll talk about this because I'm going to bring it to Deconstruction Junction, but like there was a lady on TikTok that was basically like, if you liked the Kendrick performance, you have a bad politic. And it was like, are you okay? And like it was like a very shame-filled take. And those kind of takes I feel like you can't engage with in good faith, because it's just like it's meant to rile your spirit, right? But other takes you can kind of be like, oh, okay, yeah, how am I complicit in that particular action?
The bigger question that I'm asking, and that's coming up from me from your share just now, is your activism and your promotion and your call out, is it something that is exclusionary, Or is it something that's inclusive? Because from what I just heard you say that she said, it sounded like she didn't come to necessarily try to build communities. She was coming with her finger wagging.
Yeah, and it was really interesting because then she made a follow-up video, and like I said, I'll bring a lot of this to Deconstruction Junction, and I'll bring more to my Substack because I'm going to write about this because I think it's really important for you all to understand. Like, I get asked a lot, like, Tara, how do you research? Like, Tara, I don't understand how you like think, essentially. Like, how do you put together all of these disparate takes and like,
do people say this to you? Like, how do you think? Is that what you're saying?
Not like, how do I think, but like, how do I, quote unquote, always know what to say, or like always have the sources, or like always like, which, first of all, people, like, I found a video about this too. Stop putting people on pedestals like that. Like it was Ren Star. She said, or they said, you know, y'all, they have their comments limited for people that say, you never miss. You never miss. You never miss. And Ren's like, I do miss. And it's okay. And y'all got to stop that. And I feel that way a lot, like on the way people treat me.
Like, is Google still installed on everybody's phone, or did I miss something?
Right. So like,
I'm a person who back in the 80s and the 90s was taking myself to the library to learn about stuff I didn't understand. So maybe y'all just never were incentivized. I mean, I had, did you ever do the Book It program with Pizza Hut?
I don't think we did that when I was.
You could get a free pizza for reading like a number of books like every summer as a kid. And you know, I'm motivated by pizza.
Oh, wow. I do know you're motivated by pizza. There's a free one on my phone right now. If you want one, I'll send it to you. You want it for dinner? We just made dinner for 936 miles.
This is not the first time that Tara has sent me her emergency pizza, by the way. Oh my God.
We have a free one. So I just, anyway, so, but back to this thing, she came, the girl that made the bad take on the Kendrick Lamar performance, she came out and she was like, what I just did was a masterclass in marketing. And I was like, you sure you want to show up on the internet and tell us all that you just riled everybody up into a tizzy for marketing? Like, I don't know. It was very weird. We'll talk about it on Deconstruction Junction. I don't even know how we got here. Oh, how did we get here? How did we get to talking about this? Acts of service.
We got here. I don't know how we got here from the notes. We just kind of did
here somewhere.
What we do. What I'm most excited about is that somehow the meandering landed to that emergency pizza. And I'm already thinking about what toppings I want to have.
Yep, we're gonna be sending an emergency pizza.
If you're in the comments, you can let us know what we were talking about. But our notes are taking us towards a mindfulness practice.
Yes, which is good. We need to ground ourselves before we eat pizza. So y'all know that I like to do 4 beats in, 4 beats out twice in a row. I'm going to read you what you're going to be thinking about in the affirmation, and give you the mantra of the day and the root chakra. Okay. And you can think about all of these things. So, while we're breathing, we're going to visualize red roots connecting us to the earth and to those who need support. You can also say over yourself and the other people in the room with you or in the car with you, wherever you're listening, I am a source of stability and strength for my community. And you could also choose other I am statements to say over yourself and the people in the car or the people in the room. So here we go. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Those roots are growing, and out. And in. I'm a source of stability, and out, and strength for my community. Nice. Very good.
I was going to add in what was coming up for me about the I am the source of stability and strength of my community. I've read in a post that startled me. I don't have children. I'm not a parent like Tara or other people. Someone was pointing out on Threads, the alarming rates at which some people are only staying on the planet because their kids are in their lives. And this pointed me back to the 800,000 thing that we have not been talking about as much lately, but Poppy, my manager, has been pointing me back to. We are here to remind everyone that you are a source of stability and strength for yourself, to be happy, healthy, and free in the world, and then also for the community. If you're out there living for your kids or not leaving the planet through unaliving for your children, that may be a little sign of a check engine light that you may want to figure out in community or by yourself how to become a source of stability and strength for yourself. And a lot of that starts with self-care. Physical self-care, emotional self-care, mental self-care, spiritual self-care, social self-care, practical self-care. Take care of those things so that you're living for the joy of your human existence and not just because your kids might miss you. That really alarmed me. I'm on the flip side of that. A lot of you who tune into our programming here know that I, was, unaliving in my nature for decades. And so I kind of had the conversations as a kid about how my parents were going to be negatively affected if I chose to unalive myself. But I never thought about the fact that there are many parents who are just existing on the planet because they don't want their kids to miss them if they were to unalive. And these are things that we don't shy away from talking about in our community. That you should hone in on loving yourself deeply so that you love yourself. And then your kids will get that. And that's how you heal 10 generations forward, by loving yourself more today. I don't know why that came up for me right now, Tara, in this conversation. That's not something that we've ever discussed privately. However, it triggered me into thinking about the people who are source and strength for the community, and there's such a heaviness on that while neglecting themselves. I'm one of those people that sometimes I'll love Poppy so much. Tara's like, when was the last time you washed your ass? You know?
Right.
So we have to kind of put our first, in 12-step traditions, we say first things first. And I want to make sure that all the parents in the room, while I'm not one myself, please continue to put your own oxygen mask on first. You'll have more to give to the world.
Right. And I'm grateful for the people that remind me that I need to do it. I told Dr. Flo, one of the most impactful conversations that I've had lately was with an old friend who we had separated for a while, and now we're right back in it. And that friend has told me multiple times, like, hey, we need to get you out away from the baby, like by yourself, like friend, girls date, whatever. Because it is so important to take care of yourself. And even though I'm a strong-willed person and I was like, I'm not losing me in the process of becoming a parent, it is really hard when your child is dependent on you,
Speaking of which, how was your first official date night this weekend without the kid? Like, can we get a play-by-play without the PG-13 play-by-play?
It was really dull. And y'all, our rated R behavior was it was non-existent because we didn't have the theater to ourselves. I have a video of the theater being empty, and then right before the movie started, or the 20 minutes of ads. Who knew that movies had 20 minutes of ads now, y'all? I'd rather watch them on streaming. The people came in. And there was only like a handful of people.
So you couldn't make out in the back of the theater like we did in the 90s.
Exactly, because there were people present. So anyway, and we went to the theater without the big comfy chairs. But yeah, I mean, it was like I was checking my phone every 5 seconds because my mom was like, please keep your phone on. And I was like, I do. I always have my phone on vibrate. But I was like, every time my phone would go off, which was sometimes a Dr. Flo thread, and sometimes it was like somebody messaging me, but it was never my mom. So I was mostly like, and then it was okay, listen, Captain America Brave New World, would recommend everybody sees it. Harrison Ford is great. Anthony Mackie is great. I don't remember the other dude's name, but he plays Lorenzo, who's the Falcon, and I don't know, they're like really great acting. But because it was a black lead and there are some black co-leads, there was again like the black on black thing that they love to do in Marvel, black on black fighting, like all of Wakanda Forever is that way. And it's just like, I couldn't. And then there's this scene. I'm not, y'all, if you have not seen it and you don't want spoilers, don't listen. But there's this scene where one of the older black men who had just gotten out of jail, who's a super soldier, his name is Isaiah, he like mind control takes over. He shoots at the president, and he's standing in the middle of the park with a whole bunch of cop cars around him. And when I tell you, I need them to stop doing these scenes in movies because it throws my whole person out of alignment. Like, I panicked in the movie theater that man was going to get shot in this movie. And he doesn't. He lives at the end of the movie and weirdly like goes on a date with this Israeli. It's a whole thing. But
anyway, you've seen enough of the propaganda that is America that it's why are we doing this again?
It was just enough, like, because it's also a movie about the government and like the back dealings of the government, and there's like this world treaty that they're trying to get done, and like Captain America is sort of trying to figure out if he's aligned with the president, who happens to be a white man, and like not happens because we all know Harrison Ford. Okay. But like, it was a weird, the movies right now, they try to give you the circus, but also give you the landscape of the world. And it was really weird to like have an inclusion of Israeli stuff. Like Israel was talked about a lot. Not in like a pro-Israeli way, but like it was talked about a lot. And that
in the movie?
Yeah, like because there was a character who was Israeli, and that's also where the widows, like the Black Widow, like they're trained in Israel. And so like it was like a little too uncomfortably close to like where we could go with what
not where we could go. They're just talking about Mossad.
It was
where we are. So anyway, God, this is Deconstruction Junction. This is date night turned into Deconstruction Junction. Yeah. Let's come back.
Yeah. Date night was but I was just
what did you eat? We're talking about.
I got a Dr. Pibb. I got a Dr. Peppy, a D Peppy. Okay, a D Peppy.
And what did you eat? What was for the meal?
Just popcorn. A big bag of popcorn.
Wait, so date night was the movie. There was no like dinner that went with it.
Because we put Piper down and then we went to the movie.
I see. Yeah. I love a movie date night. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, I had a D Peppy. I had the opportunity to be Black in the movie theater because there was this one movie they were advertising with these white people underwater, like Ocean Gate. It was a whole, like the white people was underwater in the places that they shouldn't have been, and the ship gets hit or something. And I was like, this is why Black people don't go underwater. Like this is why. We know where we're not supposed to be. Okay.
Is this a movie that was promoted?
Yeah, it was like I don't even remember what it was called, but I was like, I am never seeing that. Like this dude was like, his connection to the ship was broken and they were like looking for him and his flare was up. Like I was like, never in my life will I be doing that. No.
Wow. All right. Well, we never leave you in our daily boost program without some action steps that you can take in order to ground yourself today and also have a pretty rad week. Because this week's theme is all about acts of service, and today we're talking about providing stability through service. We want to encourage everyone to donate food, clothing, or resources to shelters and food banks, or maybe there's someone in your community who you've recognized needs an extra level of support. Consider being kind to that person and helping them to support their basic needs. I saw a post on Threads earlier that with the way the houselessness crisis is going for people, no one should be judging other people for how they are living right now and how they are seeking to meet their needs in community. It's really tough out here for a lot of people, and there are tent cities being popped up all over the country.
All over the country.
One more time, my love.
I said, and evicted all over the country. Minneapolis has a problem with that. Mayor Fry, who needs to go, he's constantly evicting the tent cities that get built during the summer, and it's really quite sad. Especially up here in the winter, like I'm of the mind that if someone presents and I have a couple bucks, I'll give it to them, right? I don't care if they are actually homeless or not. Up here, you very rarely see people standing on corners seeking money in the winter.
It's cold as fuck.
But yesterday I saw no less than 5, and it was only 20 degrees yesterday. And that tells me that we have a major problem in this city. And it's really sad. It's really very sad because these people have nowhere to go. And we're all one. It really doesn't matter unless you're a part of the 0.1%. We're all one accident away from that being true.
Yeah, today's theme kept pulling in that Pocahontas lyric, and we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. And if we don't start paying attention to how providing for the community is directly connected to what we're doing and how we're living, it's going to be a little too late before it's all on our doorsteps. Like the poop that Poppy thought was in the house today when I let the cat come in from the rain. It's telling me here in the notes to share a story of how providing essentials has changed someone's life.
I got a story.
Go for it.
Right off the bat. It's a story I tell often. I probably don't tell it often enough, but I told it around the hurricane time, and now I'll tell it again. That I was young. I helped organize a benefit concert for the refugees from Hurricane Katrina. They came from New Orleans to Omaha, and we did a benefit concert and we raised a whole bunch of money. It was 3 choirs. And anyway, my dad had given me an $100 bill to go give a specific family, a Black family, that was there from New Orleans, and the man just cried. And so it can be as simple as that. It can be as simple as $5. A few weeks ago at the Target up the street, there was a person sitting outside and asked for $10, and we had a 5, and I gave it to them. It might not be a lot, but to give it, right? It's changing the trajectory of a life. Trajectory.
It's also you sending Poppy rice noodles to help offset our grocery costs, because you know that's something he enjoys. And you don't seem to miss the apples off that cart, or the hair care product, that came from my birthday. These are ways in which you could be just kind to a person, buying a person lunch, buying someone who is houseless lunch. The issue that I wrestle within myself, that I see others wrestle with, is this idea that because you can't do a lot, then you shouldn't do anything at all. And just know that the little that you can do is like a small pebble of a ripple on a pond, but it's a ripple all the same.
I think we all have to remember that, for me, some of the actions that I take, I consider to be small, right? Like sending Dr. Flo $25, or sending Poppy rice noodles, or sending them oatmeal, or sending the cats food. Like that's all like small change to me, right? But that's a great deal to a lot of people. It's a great deal.
It's not small to Penelope,
right?
Penelope.
It's just not something that is. I sent Dr. Flo groceries for his birthday. Like I literally gave him a Walmart delivery for his birthday, and that's not. It's not a lot of people would do that. I used to have a friend. We've kind of lost touch now, although we just chatted in DMs. But she used to send me Valentine's Day cards. She was a high school friend, and she used to send me Valentine's Day cards, all the way up until about COVID. And I don't know, that's a small thing that you don't think about, but it's so nice. Or my friend.
Wait. Are you one of those? Because Poppy Water revealed himself over Valentine's Day to be one of these people too. Are you a person I need to start sending cards to because it's going to warm the cockles?
No, I do. I mean, if people are going to give me a card, that's nice. But I'm not ooh, I'm a card person, I save cards because they have the addresses on them for people that I don't send stuff to. But
she's always been a spy to me, folks. She's always been part of the CIA.
It is, yeah, it's true. I have people's addresses just sitting in my house. So there we go. But yeah, I mean, those are little things that just even I think brightening someone's day. Like that is something that is essential to people. We have to feel, and I think this is part of where Dr. Flo and I really align, is that like being part of people's day and encouraging positivity in people and encouraging them to find the one positive in their day, or the couple positive things, or the little positive things, like that is a must right now, because they want us, the people in power want us down and out and sad and distraught and chaos and infighting, and like they want this. And it is so simple to just show up on the internet and share, I can't remember that handle, but the people that mix the colors that we both love now. I've loved them for a while. I've used them in my stories for the last 6 months for just cleansing my stories. It'd be like I share a bunch of heavy stuff and then I put that thing up there. Arts Craft Blend, I think is what it's called. But they're just mixing colors, you know, so like it doesn't have to be the greatest thing that you've ever done. You don't have to give $5,000 to an organization. You don't have to organize the concert by yourself. But maybe saying, hey, it would be great if we had lentils at the concert, and providing a bag of lentils is enough. You know, and I think all of us, especially those of us listening to this and those of us watching this, I think we're capable of that. I think we're capable of bringing a plate of food, or, you know, letting someone pet our dog, or say hi to a baby, you know, like we're capable of that. Don't touch my baby, but you can say hi.
Don't worry, child. I have a clause in my contract that keeps babies and children 6 feet away from me at all times. So I am not ever going to be an issue for that. In our reflection and closing today, I would like everybody to reflect on how small acts of service can create security for you. Because when you do these small acts of service, you understand that we are all interdependent. And because you're taking care of someone else, the universe is going to take care of you. And I know that for a lot of people who are tuned to scarcity, you're like, oh my God, well, if I give all my money away, then how am I going to be taken care of? We never said that. We said small acts of service. Just giving a little bit away allows it to come back to you. This is the reason why if I ever walk out of a store and my cash app doesn't complete on the transaction, I walk back in the store and give them their money. It's not because I don't want it's not because I don't want bad things to happen to me in the physical. It's like a karmic thing for me. I get to bask in the good that's coming to me because I did the right thing in the moment. And just know that committing to donating your time, talent, or treasure, or supporting someone in need with a listening ear, or allowing someone to vent and hold space with you, this is the kinds of stuff that is good in the world. And it will provide a stable place for you to land and to anchor yourself this week. Tara, what's coming up in Tara Priolo studio this week?
Well, I am going to get back to the adopted Black artist, y'all. And we talk about this more on Deconstruction Junction. I have another trial lesson tomorrow, so I'm afraid that my studio is probably very booked, but async lessons are still available. And I'm hoping to really sort of, at the urging of certain people, without doing more, but being a little, it's just saying what I need to say. I mean, Threads is my place to do that, but I want to take that to the next level and like put it on the Substack and put it on the Instagram in different ways. Not everything, just certain things. So stay tuned, I guess that is. And I know on Love and Action Network, Dr. Flo, are you pulling up the website? Or you looked like you were pulling up a website. But Dr. Flo has auditions and applications open to come be a part of the Love Experience. And you can apply on the website, lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link, lovedandlovable.bio.link. And if you're looking for a small direct action to take that's easy to take, you can do that at the same website by clicking Justice for Charles McNair and sending an email to clemency at nc.gov, I believe is what the email address is. And it's all set up for you. It's one button and then you just click send, which is really super easy. And anything else that I missed that's happening in LAA and Dr. Flo world?
Man, we're doing an open house right now for all aliens, Martians, and humans with a bold dream. If you are out there and you feel like you don't have access to the tools you need in order to grow your life today, then reach out to us. We would love to encourage, equip, and empower you in the ways that we feel called to do so. On that note, what I was looking up on the back end was if we can embed. Do you know what happens if you put a thread into a Substack?
Nope.
Actually, I got you live on the air, folks. We are obsessed.
Threads is so easy. I love just being able to. That's what I loved about Clubhouse. I didn't have to put any makeup on. I didn't put any makeup on for y'all today, but I didn't have to put any makeup on. I didn't have to set up the lights. I can just literally push. That's what I like about my series Droplets over on my Substack too. It's just it's 90 seconds of just me talking to you. Whatever thought comes up in those 90 seconds, like I don't got to prepare for that. I just show up.
Oh, it's got a whole embed code. You can get a whole embed code from Threads.
Oh wow.
That's good. I'm trying to see what happens if I drop it in line. We're not quite there yet. You know, the Instagrams will actually pop through.
Right.
We're not there yet. All right, everybody. On behalf of Tara Priolo Studio, Poppy Water 33, and myself, Andre, and the Flow, Dr. Flow Online, stay in your power, stay in your joy, stay loved and lovable, and we can't wait to see you soon around the network and in Deconstruction Junction in a wee bit.